Good. Can we leave?
"20 weird facts about the Muppet Show you didn't know." Before we begin, understand this. The Muppet Show is not a children's show. It's a show about trying to hold a show together while everything actively collapses. This is a story about creative control, quiet rebellion, workplace absurdity, and how a group of felt characters became one of television's sharpest commentaries on entertainment itself. Let's begin. Fact 1. The Muppet Show was rejected for being too smart. For years, Jim Henson tried to sell The Muppet Show to American television, and every network said no. Executives didn't hate it. They didn't misunderstand it. They were afraid of it. It wasn't a children's show, but it had puppets. It wasn't adult comedy, but the jokes were layered, ironic, and self-aware. It wasn't variety, but it refused to follow sitcom rules. One executive famously said, "It's clever, but who is it for?" That question killed every pitch. American television wanted categories. The Muppet Show refused to choose one. So Henson did something radical. He left America. Fact 2. The show only exists because Britain took the risk. After repeated U.S. rejections, Henson partnered with British television, not because Britain fully understood the show, but because they were less afraid of experimentation. British producers saw The Muppet Show not as a puppet series, but as a theatrical variety program that happened to use puppets. This distinction mattered. The show was filmed in London, staffed with British crews, shot like classic stage revue. Ironically, an American cultural icon was born outside America. Only after it succeeded overseas did U.S. networks suddenly get it. Fact 3. Kermit is not the boss, even though he looks like one. Kermit the Frog appears to be in charge, but that's an illusion. He doesn't control the show, he manages damage. Kermit doesn't lead through authority, he survives through negotiation, compromise, and quiet exhaustion. This wasn't accidental. Jim Henson deliberately wrote Kermit as a middle manager, a stand-in for creative professionals trying to keep art alive inside chaotic systems. Kermit isn't powerful, he's responsible, and responsibility is heavier than power. Fact 4. Miss Piggy was never meant to be the star. Miss Piggy began as a background joke, loud, overconfident, disposable, but something unexpected happened. Audiences didn't laugh at her, they recognized her. Piggy wasn't comic relief, she was ambition without apology. She wanted fame, she wanted control, she wanted the spotlight, and refused to be ashamed of it. Instead of softening her, the writers leaned in. Miss Piggy became one of television's earliest unapologetically dominant female characters, hidden inside a pig joke. That made her dangerous and unforgettable. Fact 5. The chaos is the point. Every episode follows the same structure. The show is falling apart. Rehearsals are failing, acts are unmanageable, personalities are clashing, and yet the show goes on. This isn't accidental chaos, it's the thesis. The Muppet Show is about performance as survival, the idea that entertainment is something held together by exhaustion, improvisation, and people pretending they're fine when they're not. The curtain rising isn't triumph, it's relief. Fact 6. The guest stars were the most unstable element. On paper, celebrity guests were the safe part of the show. In reality, they were the wild card. Every guest entered a world where logic didn't apply. They weren't just appearing, they were being absorbed. Some fought it, some embraced it, some visibly panicked. The show deliberately tested guests by making them lose control, slipping on banana peels, arguing with chickens, singing beside monsters. This wasn't disrespect, it was exposure. The Muppets revealed which celebrities could laugh at themselves and which ones couldn't survive without polish. Fact 7. Fozzie Bear is a study in creative insecurity. Fozzie's jokes fail, constantly, but that's the point. Fozzie represents the performer who needs approval, who keeps going even when the room doesn't respond. He isn't stupid, he's hopeful. His failures mirror every comedian's worst fear. What if you try and nobody laughs? The show doesn't punish Fozzie for bombing. It lets him exist inside it. That quiet kindness is one of the show's most radical choices. Fact 8. Statler and Waldorf are the audience, not the villains. They heckle, they mock, they complain, and yet they never leave. Statler and Waldorf represent criticism that stays engaged. They dislike everything, but they care enough to keep watching. This matters. They aren't trolls, they're invested skeptics. The show understood something rare. Art doesn't need universal praise. It needs attention, even hostile attention. Fact 9. The show is a workplace comedy disguised as variety. Strip away the puppets, and what remains? A workplace. Deadlines, egos, miscommunication, burnout. Kermit doesn't face villains, he faces schedules. Miss Piggy doesn't seek romance, she seeks leverage. The Electric Mayhem doesn't rebel against society, they rebel against structure. The Muppet Show is less about entertainment and more about keeping the lights on. Fact 10. Laughter is the only thing holding it together. No character is truly in control. Not Kermit, not the producers, not the stars. What keeps the show alive isn't authority, it's humor. Jokes smooth tension, songs diffuse conflict, absurdity prevents collapse. The laughter isn't decoration, it's infrastructure. Fact 11. The fourth wall isn't broken, it's removed. Most shows break the fourth wall for a joke. The Muppet Show never pretends it exists. Characters talk about the script, they argue with the announcer, they complain about rehearsal time. This isn't meta-humor for cleverness' sake, it's transparency. The show admits that entertainment is constructed and invites the audience to watch the construction fail in real time. Honesty becomes the punchline. Fact 12. Children laughed at the surface, adults heard the subtext. To kids, it's silliness. To adults, it's anxiety with rhythm. Episodes are filled with jokes about deadlines, bad reviews, egos, exhaustion, creative compromise. These aren't accidental. Jim Henson believed children didn't need to be protected from complexity, and adults didn't need to be bored to be responsible. So the show did both at once. That dual-layer writing is why the series aged instead of expiring. Fact 13. Gonzo exists outside the system on purpose. Gonzo doesn't belong anywhere. He isn't managerial, he isn't critical, he isn't ambitious. He performs stunts no one asked for and no one can stop. Gonzo represents pure expression without justification. He doesn't explain himself, and the show never tries to explain him. In a workplace obsessed with structure, Gonzo is freedom without productivity, and that makes him quietly revolutionary. Fact 14. Music is how emotion sneaks in. Dialogue is jokes. Music is confession. Songs slow everything down. They allow sincerity without embarrassment. Whether it's a guest star ballad or a Muppet ensemble number, music creates a pause where characters admit things they'd never say outright. Fear, hope, loneliness, joy. In The Muppet Show, songs are where truth hides safely. Fact 15. The show treats failure as normal, not fatal. Sketches collapse, props malfunction, punchlines miss, and nothing stops. There's no reset button. The show models a radical idea. Failure doesn't end the performance. It is the performance. This taught generations something subtle, that imperfection isn't disqualifying, it's expected.
Fact 16. The show ended on purpose, not by failure. The Muppet Show did not die. It stopped. At the height of its popularity, ratings strong, global recognition secured, Jim Henson made a decision that shocked television. He walked away, not because the show was failing, but because repetition would hollow it out. Henson feared the worst fate of all, becoming a parody of itself. Ending early preserved sincerity. It froze the show in its most honest form. In a medium obsessed with longevity, The Muppet Show chose integrity. Fact 17. Jim Henson never wanted control. He wanted balance. Henson wasn't interested in dominance. He delegated. He collaborated. He trusted performers. That's why the show feels alive. Every Muppet has space. Every voice matters. No single character consumes the world. This wasn't chaos. It was shared responsibility, the same quiet ethic Kermit lives by. Leadership without ego became the show's unseen backbone. Fact 18. The show refused to mock sincerity. Irony was everywhere. Cruelty was not. The Muppet Show makes jokes about ambition, failure, ego, and pressure, but it never laughs at sincerity. When characters care, the show lets them care. That choice is rare. Mockery ages quickly. Kindness doesn't. That's why the humor still breathes decades later. Fact 19. The legacy is emotional, not technical. Other shows influenced format. The Muppet Show influenced permission. Permission to mix tones, fail publicly, be weird without justification, care without embarrassment. Its legacy isn't puppetry, it's emotional honesty disguised as nonsense. Fact 20. The final truth. The show was about holding things together. This is the most important fact of all. The Muppet Show isn't about laughs, it's about effort. Effort to create, effort to collaborate, effort to stay kind under pressure. Kermit doesn't win, he endures, and in that endurance, something rare happens. Joy survives chaos. The Muppet Show doesn't shout its message, it sings it, jokes it, drops it accidentally backstage. It tells us, you don't have to be perfect, you don't have to be in control, you just have to keep going, together. If this documentary made you see the show differently, if it made laughter feel earned instead of loud, if it reminded you that sincerity can survive inside absurdity, subscribe now for more deep dive film and TV documentaries that explore the quiet truths hiding inside entertainment. Because the most honest shows don't tell you everything is fine, they show you how people keep going anyway.